The Woodcutter and the Wisdom of the Mountain. In a small village nestled between the towering mountains of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, there lived a humble woodcutter. He was a man of few words, content with his simple life. Every morning he would go into the dense forests, chop a wood, and bring it back to the village to sell. His work was hard, but he was proud of it, for it fed his family. The villagers respected him, for he was known to never take more than what we need, while others would sometimes overharvest the forest, taking too much wood and leaving the trees bare. The woodcutter was careful. He always left some trees standing, ensuring that the forest would continue to grow and provide for generations to come. He believed that the forest was not just a place for taking, but a living entity that deserved care and respect. One day, a terrible drought struck the land. The crops failed, the river dried up, and the people were desperate. They prayed to the gods, but there was no rain. The village was on the brink of starvation, and the villagers, in their desperation, began to blame the forest for withholding its bounty. "The forest is the reason we are suffering," they said. "It must be hiding something that will bring us to relief." The woodcutter, who had always respected the forest, overheard the villagers' anger. He knew that the forest had never harmed them, but he also understood their desperation. He decided to take a journey into the heart of the mountains to seek out wisdom and the spirit of the mountain. For it was said that the mountain spirit, an ancient and powerful force, could help those who show true respect for the land. He picked his axe, some food, and set out on foot, climbing higher into the mountains than he had ever gone before. The journey peaks. The journey was long and tiring, but he did not falter. He believed that if he could reach the spirit of the mountain, he could ask for help, not just for himself, but for his entire village. Days passed, and the woodcutter climbed higher, braving steep slopes and the cold winds that hollowed through the jagged peaks. The forest around him grew thicker, the trees older, and their bark twisted with age. As he walked, the woodcutter felt a deep connection to the land. The scent of the pine, the rustling of leaves, the chirping of birds in the distance, all spoke to him of the life that existed here, a life he had always taken care to respect. Finally, after several days of travel, the woodcutter reached a clearing where the mountains met the sky. There, in the center of the clearing, stood a magnificent cedar tree, its trunk twisted and ancient, its roots buried deep in the earth. The tree was so large that its shadow stretched across the entire clearing, and its branches seemed to touch the heavens. The woodcutter knew he had to reach the heart of the mountain. As he approached the tree, the air grew still, and a voice as deep as the mountain itself echoed through the clearing. You seek help, Woodcutter, the voice said. But what is it you ask for? Woodcutter knelt before the tree, his heart heavy with the weight of his people's suffering. Great Spirit of the mountain, he said, the village suffers from a terrible drought. The crops has failed and our people are starving. I ask for your blessing to bring rain and save my village. The tree was silent for a moment, then the voice returned. Why should I help you, Woodcutter? You ask for rain, but you have forgotten the balance between nature and man. You have taken from the forest, yet you haven't given little in return. What have you done for the land that has given you so much? The woodcutter was stunned. He had always the forest, believed he respected the forest, taking only what he needed and leaving the rest. But now, faced with the spirit's words, he realized that he had been mindful of his own actions, he had never truly given back to the land. He had never nurtured the forest as the forest had nurtured him. After a long pause, he said, I have taken much, but I have never truly given. I see now that I must repay the land not just for myself, but for the future of all who depend on it. I will dedicate myself to protecting the forest, to ensuring it grows strong and healthy for future generations. The spirit of the mountain considered his words. The earth beneath the woodcutter's feet trembled, and the air grew thick with the energy of the land. Then the voice spoke again, softer now, but filled with power. You have learned the truth, woodcutter. You may now control the rain, but you can protect what has been given to you. Go back to your village and teach them the same. Only when the people respect the land and live in harmony with it will the drought end. The woodcutter nodded, his heart full of gratitude. I will carry this lesson to my people, Spirit. I will ensure they understand the land is not ours to take, but ours to cherish and protect. The moment he spoke those words, the earth seemed to shift. The wind picked up, and the sky darkened as clouds gathered. The first drop of rain fell, then another. Soon a gentle rain began to pour from the heavens, soaking the parched earth. The mountain's blessing had been granted. With a renewed sense of purpose, the woodcutter began his descent down the mountain. He knew that the lesson he had learned was not just about the rain, it was about living in the balance with nature, about taking only what was necessary and giving back what was needed. He understood that true prosperity came from nurturing the earth, not from exploiting it. When he returned to the village, the woodcutter gathered the people together. He spoke to them of what he learned on his journey to the mountain, teaching them that they should give back to the land in ways they had never had done before. Plant trees, protect the forests, respect the nature balance together. Replanting the trees that had been cut down, conserving water, and tending to the earth with love and care. The villagers listened quietly and then, humbled by the woodcutter's wisdom, and as they worked to restore the balance with the land, the rains finally came. At first, it was just a trickle, but soon the skies opened up and the river began to flow once more. The crops began to grow and the village was saved. From that day forward, the villagers lived in harmony with nature, always remembering the lesson of the woodcutter and the mountain spirit that true prosperity comes not from taking, but from giving, and that the land must always be respected and protected. The woodcutter, once a simple man of the forest, became known as the wise protector of the land, and his story was passed down through generations, reminding everyone of the delicate between humanity and nature. The end.